Good afternoon, everyone. I am here today with Dorniescher Johnson. I am your host, Nikita Ross. Now let's talk about this. I've done 3 podcasts within the last 7 days. I have so many people, so many amazing people that I want to bring on this year that I didn't get opportunity to bring on last year. So you may see 2 podcasts a week. You never know. But I'm about to roll them out. And so welcome, Dorniescher.
Thank you for having me, Nikita. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. So Dorniescher has done a little bit of everything.
Yes.
So let's start with college.
Yes. Went to University of Houston.
Okay.
Downtown. I got a accounting degree. Of course, my mother told me I need to have some type of background in some field, but I knew in the future of my life of entrepreneurship, I knew I wanted to be self-employed. So I did. Went to college just for her, I guess her sanity or her safety. Mm-hmm. But I went to U of H downtown. I graduated 03. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Okay.
Jesus, it's been a minute.
You graduated 03. And what was your first job after college?
My first job after college I was self-employed.
Really? Immediately after college?
Actually, during college, I was self-employed. When I graduated from University downtown, I was self-employed.
What kind of work were you doing?
I had my partnership with Tabitha as a tax, I did tax preparation. Mm-hmm. So we started that in 2001. And so then at that moment, that's all I've been doing from 2001 for 17 years. So in 2000 I actually ended that in 2006. Yeah, 2006 I ended it.
So did you do taxes for 18 years?
I did taxes for 17 years.
Oh, 17 years. Okay, but you ended that partnership with Tabitha in 2006?
2006.
Okay. And so when did you start doing rehabbing high heels?
I started rehabbing high heels in 2005.
2005.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I started rehabbing high heels in 2005. I was at the time living in Dallas, woe is me at the age of 35, what I'm going to do with myself. And I ended up relocating back home due to a lot of death in the family. Mm-hmm. And I knew that it's time for me to come back. So when I was introduced to real estate, I knew I wanted to do something in real estate. I knew my gift was more so not as a real estate agent. So I don't know about your life. You like that? I'd just rather build something and then you like it. And from there, I end up starting fixing and flipping in 2015. And then wholesaling, and then now buy and hold. And it's just amazing how real estate has really just opened up my eyes on not just focusing on the front end of like the HGTV. Now I'm a lender. I lend my money out, to other women that are wanting to do what I do as a real estate investor. So it's been, an exciting 5 years.
So let me backtrack. From accounting to real estate.
Yes.
Like, how did you even get introduced to real estate? After being in accounting for so long, you know what I mean?
Right.
How did you jump ships like that, Because
right.
even though it's both entrepreneurship, those are 2 completely different industries.
Oh, it's day and night.
Okay.
Like, day and night. And so I think what happened when I was in Dallas, I got burnt out of doing tax preparation and pretty much that field. And when I moved back to Houston, I was trying to figure out, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do mortgage, what will speak to me. And this gentleman that was in D.C. till this day, I still have not met him, introduced me to wholesaling. And I'm like, okay, now what is wholesaling?
So when you say this gentleman in D.C., did you see him on a podcast? Did you see a TV show? How did you get introduced to this guy that you never met?
I was introduced to him through a Facebook page.
Okay.
Just entrepreneurs of just really wanting to pretty much do something. And then he brought up, everybody might take a look at doing wholesaling. So I'm like, well, okay, then what do you mean by wholesaling? And of course, University of YouTube, you type in what is wholesaling. And of course, they show all these beautiful checks like $15,000, $20,000. And that really intrigued me. And I knew from that moment that I want to be an investor than as an agent.
And so what is wholesaling? For those of you who aren't, well versed in real estate.
Right.
Like I know what wholesaling is when it comes to hair products, boutique clothing, and things of that nature. But what is wholesaling in regards to real estate?
Great question. Okay, so it's similar to boutiques in hair. My job as an investor is to find a distressed person that may be in some type of financial hardship, which is, let me think, divorce, bankruptcy. They have an abandoning on a property, death, probate. And my job is to provide a service, which is solve a problem. I end up negotiating very low on their end as a motivated seller, and then I am the middle person as anything and increase the contract to an end buyer, which is another investor. My job is to provide two pieces of contracts, take it to the title company, and I get a portion of what's assigned to me. And that's how I'm able, that's what wholesaling, A to B, B to C, but I'm B.
Okay, you're the middleman.
I'm the middleman, or AKA the middle woman.
Middle woman, okay. AKA the middle woman.
Yes.
So wholesaling. So that's great. Thank you for breaking that down
Yeah.
for us people who are amateurs and don't know what wholesaling is in regards to real estate, because I'm telling you, I definitely didn't know. But now it makes sense, because I've had people see a sign in my yard when I was selling a house and want to, of course, sell it, buy it from me at a low price, but I wasn't in distress, so I had time to wait. But yes, now it makes sense.
And you've probably seen signs everywhere.
We buy houses. We pay cash for houses.
We pay cash for houses.
So what's your sign?
My sign is she buy houses.
She buy houses. Okay.
Yes. So my sign is all over the outer parts of Houston, as well inside the Houston area. And I'm a virtual wholesaler, which means I'm not limited here in Texas. I've done deals in Dallas. I've done deals in Austin, Chicago, Atlanta, New Jersey, Philadelphia. So I'm here in Houston, but I'm able to still close deals in in 52 other states.
Okay.
And that's exciting.
Definitely different.
Yeah.
And so now the sky's the limit. Because
Right.
you're not limited with just this Houston area or the state of Texas. Now you have the whole U.S., so you have opportunity. And that's a lot of real estate.
Oh, that's a lot of real estate. That's a lot of coins, as I call it.
A lot of coins, a lot of bags.
A lot of bags. Not
So,
coins, but bags.
Tell me about your team. Do you have a staff? Do you only work with contractors? How does it work? Are you a one-man band? I mean, as far as your employment, you kind of contract out things?
Well, yeah. Actually, it's interesting that you brought this up. I have 15 VAs.
Okay.
So everything is virtual. I am a solopreneur. My overhead is really, really small. So pretty much I have myself, and then I have an assistant here in Houston, and then I have 15 other VAs. And what their job is to do is make contact with a list that I provide that are looking to sell their property, and then send up on a contract and coordinate it. My job is to really oversee their structure as well market. Because as a wholesaler, my job is to solve problems and market. And the marketing is having text messages, email, blasts to find people. You know, my favorite commercial is Geico. You know, you might not need Geico now as insurance, but you know that they do a great job on marketing. And so I emulate a lot of marketing strategies by putting myself in the forefront of anyone that might want to sell or in desperate need, like pre-foreclosure. Right now, March 3rd will be the first Tuesday coming up. And my job is to talk to a motivated seller who is in foreclosure to at least give them something back in return. Yes, they might be distressed because they lost their job or, something happened as far as death is concerned. And what I want to do is not let you completely lose all the equity.
And I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because that is in your, the way you put it is like you're solving a problem and you're rescuing, right?
Right.
But a lot of people don't see it that way.
Right.
And I say that because a person who's about to foreclose, about to lose their home, they had ample amount of opportunities to pull some money out before they were losing it, right? Sometimes some people just rather lose it. I'm sure you've encountered those people. And so, what would you have to say to that? You know what I mean? And in hindsight, it's 2020. Well, in their mind, they know the house is worth, i.e., $200,000, right?
Correct.
And say if you offer them 50, well, you rather walk away from the 50,000 and just end up with nothing when it's going to be taken away from you anyway. You know?
Correct.
So, what do you say to that? Because I've heard that story numerous times.
Right. See, first and foremost, as a real estate investor, that I call myself as an acquisition manager.
Okay.
When I hear that pain point of them frustrated, you have to also go, I'm a counselor as well. You got to listen to why they want to give up all of this equity. They're tired. I had one encounter. There was a family member, it was a death, and they didn't know how to get out of their situation. They didn't know how to get their money. And so my job was to, one, listen to their side of the story, see if I can actually help them on getting some type of equity out of this property before it goes to foreclosure. It was a reverse mortgage, which means a lot of elderly people that use their home and pull the equity out, but they don't understand when they passed away, the heirs are responsible to pay the house back. If not, they go into foreclosure.
Oh, so I've heard of reverse mortgage. I just thought they automatically assume the deed. Assume the deed to the home. If it's paid for, they don't automatically receive the deed.
It's not paid for because it's called a home equity. That's a home equity loan now. Yeah, see, the glamorous part of it is, hey, you can use your equity in your property. You don't have to ever pay back the money while you're living. But when you passed away, your kids
inherit that debt. That was definitely a news flash for me.
Yeah.
Because I thought once the person died, they just assumed the deed, the property. I didn't know that there was another liability. I understood that the house did not belong to the children.
Right.
Like you relinquish your rights, right? But I didn't understand that. You bringing that to fruition now that they had an actual financial burden associated with that.
Correct.
Did not know that.
Right. And so my job is, I know the heirs want their family home. They have to fight for it. And so I will end up being like a mediator, again, a middlewoman, to negotiate with the lender. Hey, let's do a short sale and get this property. Well, sometimes it doesn't work out in that way. Then I have to be creative. Can I lend? Can I become the owner of that property, do a wraparound mortgage, and lend and go ahead and rent it out to the heir so they can pay it back? When I say creative finance is so many ways as a real estate investor to assist. And so, of course, my heart is heavy because my grandmother had a property on the north side and she lost it. And so now my job is to go back to see if I can even acquire it because it's, my great-grandmother's house and my grandmother's house is a family heirloom, and I just want it because I had great memories. And so when she ended up doing reverse mortgage, excuse me, I had no idea what that was all about until I became an investor. Excuse me.
That's okay. So she's talking a lot about mortgages and financing, real estate, and different things of that nature. And I'm learning a lot myself personally right now, things that I didn't know. But I also want to get in her mind and get in her head and find out, what do you do for fun? What's next? How do you stay charged? How do you stay driven? Who inspires you? That softer side of you.
Yes.
That side that whether you're in real estate or not, you can relate to those things. You can benefit from it. So let me start with this thing first. What are your 2 or 3 favorite books, like all-time favorite books that you kind of find yourself going back, picking up again, pulling out a quote, maybe even reading again?
Yes. Go Giver.
Go Giver. That has been mentioned several times on this podcast.
Go Giver is amazing. It shows who God is as far as you serving others. It tells a story of not dwelling on your current situation, but to be able to serving others, and your serving others will allow you to receive what you need as a giver. And I love that book. Love it.
You're like the second or third person on the podcast that has mentioned that. So, okay, that's a must.
You have to have it. Another book that's really good, that the Alchemist. The Alchemist, again, is another mindset book. It's another book that shows that you have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, very enjoyable. I love it. And you're a badass.
I suggested that to one of my clients today. I do some business coaching.
Yes.
And I was telling my client, who's my client for business coaching, to read that, because it really lets you just, it's nothing like when you believe in yourself, and when you believe you can fly, you mess around and fly. And I mean, it goes back to mindset, the alchemist.
Right.
It all goes back to how you think. So a man thinketh. You know what I mean?
Yes. I love You're a Badass. And what she does in her book, she reminds you, love yourself. Like, if you don't learn anything else, just love yourself. And if by loving yourself, you will do more because you're taking care of yourself first. Like, whenever I teach other women who want to do real estate, is you cannot survive, can't save other people. My best analogy is whenever you're on the plane and the flight attendant will tell you, when the mask come down, you put the mask on yourself first.
Yes.
And then you assist others.
Yes.
So I'm telling everyone, anytime you are in a business, attend to yourself first. That means love yourself. Take some time for yourself. I'm a drink. I love some good wine, some good margaritas, some great music. I usually push my computer away from me because I am a solopreneur, and I don't have to be so consumed with the day in and day out. I love going to my life coach and just dumping my own personal life so I can be a better service to others. And that's what I would normally do for me, is just to love me. By loving me is definitely traveling, spending quality time.
I want to stop you real quick. Have you always loved you? And I say that because, just coming to grips with who you are, how you look, some things, like, for instance, I think about when growing up, some things I just like that just annoy me, like being pigeon-toed, being knock-kneaded, having full lips, having big eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and of course, being a child, people play on those things, right? They see the difference, they play on it, and those differences are the things you start to hate, and then all of a sudden you become 18, 28, or 38, and you're like, I love this.
Right.
I'm just so happy. For me, it didn't take me forever. It took me maybe like 21 to be like, you know what? This is you. This is the skin that you in. Nothing really is going to change much. So it's either accepted or rejected. You know what I mean?
Right,
because
right.
it wasn't like I was going to be 21 going to get leg braces. You know what I mean? Like, who's
I'm not
going to
break my legs.
Right. Who's going to be 21 walking around with leg braces? And it's like, literally, it took me to become 21 when people started referring to me as Diana Ross, having beautiful eyes like Diana Ross.
Ooh,
I'm like, well, wait a minute. This thing that I thought was so horrible isn't so bad after all. So I want to know, have you always been able just to love your total self, flaws and all?
No, I didn't start loving myself until I turned 40.
Wow. 40.
I'm 41 now.
So like very recently.
Like very recently. I literally start loving me first when I turned 40. I do recall when I was 39 crying because I didn't know what 40 looked like. I knew what 30s looked like, but I didn't know what 40 looked like. And so when I was in New Orleans, it was midnight. I said, eh. And then at that moment, I start loving myself. And when you start loving yourself, it is an internal thing that automatically comes out, blossom, and you see free spirit and the people that you draw near that you always wanted in your life start showing up because you start loving yourself first, and then everybody else start coming in. Yes, I was pouring out love to everybody else, but I was so depleted that I didn't know what love looked like until I started taking the time out for Dorniescher and just like love me wholeheartedly, love the gap, love the craziness of myself, love the clothes, just love wholeheartedly about myself, that now that I walk into a room, I had always had confidence, but that was my my alter ego, my savvy, who was protecting me.
Now I was masking it. Yeah.
Yes. And now I don't have to use my mask anymore. I can be Dorniescher. Yes. I can be who she is. and just walk in that room and just dominate the room, and just that aura of like, wow, she's beautiful and she's confident. I know I am. At the time I didn't, but now that within this full year, I'm so grateful that I took the time to love me. I should have did it 21, but I didn't know. When you just don't know, I try my best not to beat myself up like, why did it take so long? But it was the right timing.
But I always say, but at least it happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's some people who live a lifetime, never coming to grips, never shifting, never transitioning.
Right.
So, and I mean, you did a great job rejecting it, because I would have never known 40. So you fooled me. You definitely fooled me.
Right.
So we talk about loving yourself. So let's talk about self-love. So what are some ways you self-love? Resting, traveling. So what are some ways you love on yourself? Spoil yourself.
How do I spoil myself? I spoil myself with some great pair of shoes. Girl, I love some good shoes. I spoil myself going out and eat, like going out to get something to eat. Some really, I don't have to wait anymore for others to come and hang out. I end up going to a restaurant that I never been, and sightsee. And Houston is such a beautiful place. Like, I did not know downtown around 7 o'clock when the sun is setting, the bats come out, and just walk under that tunnel, or walking down, the Alley Parkway, and just really be very grateful. And that's taking care of me. That's making me happy. Doing things that I said I would never I have never done before, and just do it. And of course, the traveling. My goal for in May, which you're invited, I'm going to rent out a yacht in south of France.
Check you out, girl.
Yes, I had already. Look, and tell you on
Planned
my
it
vision
out.
board. My
Planned
vision
it
board
out.
already told me. Okay, in the month, I gave it a date. I gave it a time. I know how many people is coming with me. We're flying to south of France and get on this private boat, this yacht, and I'm just gonna love it. I cannot wait.
Can't wait.
I cannot wait.
How many days will you be there?
We're gonna be there for 7 days.
7 days, okay.
Yes.
Will you be in Nice, Cannes? Where will you be?
We're gonna be in Nice.
Okay.
We'll leave out in Nice, and then, but it'll be 14 days in total, but definitely on a boat for 7, and just really, I want people that I love and enjoy and want to have fun with. I don't want to pick anybody that's like, well, I don't want to fly. Well, you're not the right one for me.
Right.
And I didn't put your name on that board. So it's okay.
You say I need all positive charge ions.
Right.
All positive charge ions.
I need all of that.
I don't need no negative ions. Pulling this energy, draining this energy on this boat, okay?
Not all this money I'm spending.
It's for real. No, definitely. Definitely. And, but that's law of attraction.
Yes.
That's law of attraction, and happy people and positive people love to be around happy and positive people. They do.
Yeah.
They do. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I think negative people do too, but I think we're more cognizant of it. And we're definitely like, oh no, she's draining. Let me get away. And not in a mean way, but just limiting interaction, limiting phone time, limiting how many dinners you're going to go with this person one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because you get up from the table and you feel like, oh my God.
That's a waste of my money.
Oh, I'm going to need 3 more drinks. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to need to pick her up because I done been brought down so low. I'm going to need to pick her up. I'm picking her up.
I'm going to have to leave you to get picked up again.
Yes. So, I get it as far as vacation.
Yeah.
And vacation is supposed to be fun and lively. It shouldn't be like you babysitting. And I don't care if the trip is $100 or $100,000. If it's vacation, it's supposed to be the great escape.
Yes.
Escaping the madness, the nonsense, the negativity. So,
and
I
it's
totally
supposed to
get it.
also reignite the flame that you have in yourself to do it again or go and sightsee. Like Tokyo in 2020 for the Olympics. I'll be there.
Come on, Tokyo 2020.
Yes. Hachishi. I'm learning
Get
language.
it in. Get it in. You learning the, okay. You learning the language and everything.
I'm a try. All I'm saying thank you and where I need to go. But I just want to live the fullest. Like I realize that being in your 40s is, it's beautiful. It's amazing. Like 20, I was confused. 30s, hopefully I'm getting together. But 40, I'm more intentional. Okay. And I see gratitude and I see how grateful I am being in my 40s. Now, each day has a purpose. Each day is all about maximizing my day. And as an entrepreneur, as a woman, as a mother, as an aunt, like we have to be very intentional
Yes, we do.
in that day and maximize. When I lay my head down, it's like, did I maximize this day? Did I do everything I said I was going to do today? If not, okay, acknowledge it if you didn't. But God said, I'll give you fresh blessings daily. He doesn't give you, he won't give you today's blessing for tomorrow. He give you a new blessing,
Every day.
which means it's so new, it's so fresh that you start all over again. I'm excited. It's like what's that? Groundhog Day is every day is still like the same day.
Yeah, every day is Groundhog Day. So I have this question for you. So I know you're born February 3rd,
Yes.
1979.
Yes.
And so, the memorial yesterday for Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
I don't know if you got an opportunity to watch it, but, they always say your life is about the dash.
Mm-hmm.
We all have an alpha and an omega, each and every one of us. We don't know the length, we don't know the duration, but we all have a beginning and an end. But the dash is what counts.
Mm-hmm.
The dash is what, you leave behind. The dash is what you contribute to the community and the legacy you leave for the next generation. And I know you don't have any children, but what kind of seeds are you sowing to leave when you're gone where people remember you from that?
I'm excited about my legacy, leaving my life or my path. Speaking for women, my path of legacy is to pave a way of letting you know that you don't have to be a real estate agent, but you can be an investor to leave your children's children homes so they can live a financial free way. So me teaching other women is a legacy that I'm leaving behind. Another legacy for my family, my brothers and my nephews and my mother, is leadership. Showing them that taking the risk is a great thing. It's a great opportunity to not be afraid of not trying.
Mm-hmm.
Just to say, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and never do. You won't know until you actually do something. And then, of course, taking care of their education, but some might not be qualified in education. Maybe I needed to guide them in a way to focus on a trade, and showing them other opportunities in real estate. I think the paving the way of kingdom building is to leave them a legacy of education or showing them how to fish, not providing the fish.
Not enabling them.
No, auntie don't enable nobody. So you have to learn how to fish, because I know if I don't have this money that I have in store for myself, then I'll pretty much be creating a crutch for you and become very codependent. But if I'm able to show you and use my income to catapult for you to be the next level of greatness, then I would love to do that. So leaving a legacy of that. And I definitely want to leave a legacy of a scholarship for young women that are young men that just want something different and they don't know what that is. Sometimes we don't know at a young age.
We don't. Because we're not exposed to a whole lot of careers and professions.
No.
And there's so many, there's so many careers and professions that we don't even know about.
They have no idea, and I don't want the scholarship to be so in a box. You have to do this and this.
Limited.
I want you to identify that that your purpose is going to be in something, and you also have to look back in your own history of your life. I remember at 7, I knew I wanted to be self-employed. I was selling Cool Cups and candy and chips.
That was me.
You know what I'm saying?
That was me.
I was selling bags of
I've
chips.
always been an entrepreneur. Always. Always.
I mean, my grandmother had an 8th grade education, and she walked away with a daycare, taxi cabs, grocery store. So I know it's in my bloodline. So me getting an education for my mother because of her comfort, I did that. But I knew that I would be self-employed. If I only make $2, it's the best $2, So I believe having a scholarship for a male or a female that have no idea of what they want to do in life, it still help them identify something.
Yes.
And that's my legacy leaving behind once I lay my eyes down closed.
So, Dorniescher, how do they stay connected with you? What's your what's your Instagram?
So everything from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok is Rehab in High Heels.
Well, stay connected with Dorniescher. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be
It's
here.
been great. I've learned a lot. I hope you guys did too. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.